All right. I went to this thing tonight that kind of explains what more about what this Christian church is all about, what they teach, what different kind of classes there are, and stuff like that. Pretty much like an introductory class for newcomers. And so I went to it. I'm like, couldn't hurt. you know, you know, God has my back anywhere I go, pretty much. So um, that's how I see it. So I feel like that's where he wanted me to go, like, today again. So so I went to that, and the pastor was talking and stuff, um, and whenever he says, "Yeah, does anybody have any questions?" Of course, I always have a question. So I'm like, raise my hand because God doesn't answer all my questions. So I gotta ask him somewhere, you know, and someone else say the answers to me. So one of the things I was curious about was salvation. I've never heard someone explain it, what salvation looks like in real life without dying. What does that road look like? The salvation road in real life. You know what I mean? So that's what I asked. I'm like, I always hear about salvation. What does that look like in practice? What does that look like walking the walk? What does that look like? The salvation road. And I'm like, is Jesus the only one that knows how to walk that road with you? You know what I mean? To show you that road, the salvation road. And the answer is pretty much yes. Jesus is the only one that can show you the salvation road. Pretty much, like, walk you down the salvation road without dying. That's key. Like, you can walk the salvation road without dying. For some reason, I always think you have to die first to walk salvation. I don't know. God knows that's how my brain works. Just like, oh yeah, salvation is something that happens after you die. It's just like it's the road after you die. Salvation is. But I feel like that's not true. Like, you can walk the salvation road, and I think I'm like barely at the beginning of that road. Maybe I'm walking the salvation road. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like that's confirmed to me. Like, I'm at the beginning of that walk of the salvation road, the beginning of it. So, pretty much because Jesus has guided me this road, this way, basically. Like, if there was no Jesus, I wouldn't be doing any of this. I wouldn't. I would never go to a Christian church. I would never read the Bible. I would never, you know what I mean? If Jesus wasn't legit, you know. And that's another thing that the pastor said when Jesus was crucified for all of us. That just hit me in the heart. I'm like, oh, that's true. everything else, everything else may be bullshit, but oh, that's true. I feel it, you know. Almost like I was on the cross with him when he said that. Like, seriously, like, oh man, that's true. Sometimes I do feel like I'm partly on the cross with him. Sometimes I feel that way, like, because of all the suffering. Just like, shit. but but anyways, I feel like that's where God wanted me to be, though. Like, he keeps confirming it, so I'm like, okay, God definitely wants me to be at this Christian church. I'm pretty damn sure, this one specifically. So that's why I'm here. I don't care about anything else. You know, I don't care about the politics. I don't care about the gossip. I don't care about the social life. Even though God wants me to make friends, I'm trying. I'm trying to make friends with people, and I feel like I have I'm really drawn, and I think God knows this. I'm really drawn to those that have been through a lot. You know, um, have really hard have had really hard lives. I'm really drawn to them, and God knows that. I'm drawn to them because they have great spirits. They do. They have great, strong souls for going through hard things and overcoming, basically. So I can see that. You know what I mean? I can see that. It's crazy. I know, but God has given me these abilities, these gifts, and that's another thing that was talked about at the Christian church was the talents. God gives people the talents. The two guys use their talents, but one guy buries his talents. I feel like God was like directing that at me. Like I'm burying my talents. I'm not using them to help them. Only God knows I have talents that He's given me. Only God knows. Nobody else would guess that I have talents, gifts from God. Nobody would. you know, that guy, no. You know, that shy guy that just wants to get out of rooms with crowds. That guy has abilities. Yes, God knows that. He's given this no name outcast of society, basically, outcast of religion, abilities. But I feel like I was born with them naturally without realizing it. I didn't realize other people didn't have these abilities until I got older. I'm like, shit, no wonder I'm different. Not everybody has these gifts or abilities. So, but, but anyways, I feel like because I read that story in the Bible today about the talents, everything has been confirmed to me twice in one day. It seems like everything's being confirmed to me twice in a day. The talent story, the father being the egg with Jesus, confirmed to me twice. So it was almost like God was saying, I didn't give you talents to just keep them to yourself. Basically, is how I felt, like to just hide them within yourself. I didn't give you these abilities and talents to just bury them. That's what I feel like God was saying to me. I'm like, shit, no one would even know I have talents if it wasn't for you. That's what I was saying in my mind. Like, anyways, but I gotta go.